Welcome to Be the Good with Kate, the show where guests leave you inspired to uncover your passions and discover tangible ways to make a difference along the way. I'm your host, Kate Chericello-Tente, and here I talk to individuals who are doing just that. Individuals from all walks of life and industries following their passions and making the world a better place while they do. With guests hailing from Bali to Utah, Florida to Japan, and just about everywhere in between, something I love about human connection and inspiration is how you certainly don't need to be from the same place or a similar background to get so much out of hearing from a person. In fact, I think it is better that way. We notice how we as humans are so similar in so many ways, and how each of us has so much power to make a difference in our own lives and the lives of others. I hope you're inspired here to start, restart, or continue your journey of finding your passions and helping others along the way. I love a text saying, "This made me think of you today." If there is someone in your life who could use today's story, click share and send their way. And thank you for helping to inspire more people. Now on to this week's episode. Let's spread a little more goodness in the world. Today on Be the Good with Kate, I am very excited to introduce you to Kathryn Yuma. She is the Development and Communications Director for Hearts and Horses Therapeutic Riding Center in Loveland, Colorado. Kathryn, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I love it. And this show's all about people following their passions and helping others along the way. So I just want to start with what came first, your passion for horses or your passion for helping others?
It's a great question. I grew up loving animals in general, and of course, were very, very high on that list. But I found my way into the nonprofit sector right after college, and have really enjoyed and found a passion for helping people and working in development really early on in my career. So I feel like when I was able to find Hearts and Horses, it really was the perfect marrying of getting to work in a setting where these incredible animals are helping incredible people achieve their fullest potential.
Wonderful. Now, are you from Colorado?
I'm not. I'm originally from Austin, Texas. And my husband and I moved up to northern Colorado 6 years ago.
Did you move for this organization or did you find that after?
I was working for a nonprofit healthcare system in Austin. And we decided that we were done with traffic and the hustle and bustle that Austin has become.
Yeah.
And so we decided to move with our family up to northern Colorado, and I actually moved up here with that nonprofit job. So I was working remotely for a little bit, and we were driving up one afternoon to go see Carter Lake, which is just near Hearts and Horses. And we drove by, and I was a little kid in the window at, what is a therapeutic riding center? I had no idea anything about the industry, and quickly got home and did a little research and signed up to volunteer. And shortly after that, they posted the position on Facebook, and they'd never had a development person on staff before when I joined in April of 2019. So it was a pretty right place, right time, kismet, if you will, to find my way to Hearts and Horses. So
that's
very grateful to be
fantastic.
here.
So now tell us, what is the essence of Hearts and Horses?
Well, we're a therapeutic riding center. I should start over because Hearts and Horses is a therapeutic riding center. Our mission is to enhance physical, cognitive, emotional, and social well-being through equine partnerships. And it is a place where people of all backgrounds and all diagnoses, all ages, can come and experience the magic of working with our incredible herd of 30 equines and reaching individual goals and learning horseback riding skills and horsemanship skills. And a lot of self-discovery comes from working with horses. And they teach us quite a bit in every moment. So it's a really special opportunity that can help a wide range of people. And getting to be part of that and seeing it day in and day out is really inspiring. And it is definitely a place that I am very grateful for in my life, just being able to be a part of something so impactful.
And pretend that whoever's listening doesn't know a thing about animals, why horses? Why not a dog or a bird or just any other animal?
Yeah. So horses are incredibly therapeutic in many ways. They're prey animals, and so they're very hypervigilant, and they have a great ability to live in the moment. They are very aware of their surroundings at any given time. And of course, their flight responses and their hypervigilance teach us a lot, especially with people that may have PTSD or may be having some mental health struggles. A horse can teach you how to be in the moment, how to breathe through any interaction or obstacle that is in your way. And additionally, horses are incredibly physically therapeutic. So a horse's gait closely resembles a human's gait. And so somebody that may not be able to walk independently or have had some sort of injury that's keeping them from walking independently, when they ride a horse, their three-dimensional movement in the horse's hip closely resembles a human. So it gives all of that sensory information from the horse's gait and movement up through our rider's sit bones into their brain, and giving them that proprioception of moving through space and time independently.
Wow, I never knew that aspect of it, about the similar to a human gait. That's really fascinating too. Just another level of how cool, or lack of a more polished word, this whole process is. How do people find out about you?
A lot of Hearts and Horses has grown from grassroots for the 27 years that we've been serving the Northern Colorado community. So most people have found out about us by driving down County Road 29, similar to my experience. We have a nice big sign out front, and our website is probably the where people find us most of the time. It's heartsandhorses.org. But we do have referrals from the school systems that we work with, a lot of DHS, CPS. Their referrals come to Hearts and Horses to be an alternative intervention for several different diagnoses, like I mentioned. So it's a referral base, a lot of word of mouth, a lot of the drive-bys, and then finding us on the internet when people search equine assisted services.
So I'm intrigued, the idea of if someone goes to a therapist, they might get it covered by insurance, it might go through the medical system. Is this something that, how is it financed, or is it because it's a nonprofit, it's its own separate entity there?
That's a great question. So currently we are working towards building up a scientific body of evidence that shows that therapeutic interactions with equines are viable treatments, so that the medical and scientific community accept this as viable treatments that could be billed to insurance. Recently, we did get the approval that our occupational therapists and our physical therapists now can bill Medicaid, which was a huge win for our industry. And we've had instructors and people on our leadership team meeting that have been working for several years to make sure that that can happen. So that was a very recent thing. I think it starts in January of next year that our therapists are able to bill Medicaid now for their occupational therapy treatments for those participants. But the work that we're doing with our research programs, we've been partnered with the Children's Hospital Colorado and the Anschutz Medical Facility, looking at they're looking at the results of children with autism spectrum disorder, and how their interactions with horses might help them regulate their emotions. So that was a 5-year randomized study that has been happening here. It's an unprecedented study that we're incredibly proud to be a part of. And really, again, we know what we're doing works, but these kind of research projects and studies are telling us how it works. And so that with that body of evidence, we will be able to take that to the world and share our findings. And I think the therapeutic writing industry knows that it works, and there are really amazing results that come from therapy sessions in relationship with equines. And this research and the body of evidence is really going to help solidify that and help further our industry and reach more people in need.
That's fantastic. It gets so frustrating when there are these, I even hate saying alternative therapies because it's all under the umbrella of different therapies. But as the medical or insurance, I guess, companies would say alternative, even something like acupuncture is so often not covered by insurance. But we know there's so many benefits of so many of these. So I love hearing that you are in process of getting closer and closer to this, because we need more of that to be covered so that people have access to all of this.
And Hearts and Horses, we work very hard to make sure that our services are affordable for all of our participants. It costs Hearts and Horses $115 an hour for any of our participants to come and participate, but we fundraise throughout the year and cover $75 of that program fee, so that none of our participants pay more than $40 an hour for their sessions.
That's incredible.
And additionally, 52% of our participants are on additional scholarship. So we also work throughout the year to build up our scholarship fund to help support all of our participants that need additional financial assistance, so that we never have to turn a rider away for their inability to pay. It's very important to us to make sure that this service is accessible and affordable to those that need it most.
Wow, that is an incredible resource. How far do people travel to get to Hearts and Horses?
We have participants that travel several miles. We have people that come from Denver, Wyoming. Northern Colorado is an expansive space place, and so
that's true. It's a lot bigger than what I think of as New Jersey here.
We have 4 to 5 neighboring counties that we have participants that will come to Hearts and Horses to seek our services.
Amazing. Okay, so now going back to you as someone who works there and is following your passion with both helping people and working with horses, what is the most surprising thing to you of where you are in life right now regarding working with your passions?
I would have to say what surprised me the most and what I am grateful for every day is getting to wake up and know that I get to drive to the mountains, and my office is in a barn and a very beautiful barn. But getting to marry my love of animals and helping other people in such a beautiful, impactful way, for me is something that I don't take for granted. And I feel very grateful every day to have the opportunity to support a place like Hearts and Horses and put any of the talents and my skills to work for such great good. It's something that I think a lot of people don't get the opportunity to have a rewarding career always. I think it is sometimes the needle in the haystack, but I don't take for granted at all how lucky I am to have found Hearts and Horses in my life. I am surprised about it still, 5.5 years later, and am feeling very grateful for having it in my life and being able to be proud of it and tell people about what I do is something that is a guiding light for me, and I'm very grateful for it. So I would say that I'm still surprised that there's a place like Hearts and Horses in the world and that I get to be a part of it.
I love it. And what advice would you give to someone who wants to pursue something that lights them up, but is stuck in, like you said, a not rewarding career? Anything you'd tell them?
I would tell somebody that is looking for meaning in their career and in life to have an open mind and volunteer and have new experiences. Do do some research on organizations that might interest you in your area and go and experience it. Go and see for yourself and get yourself out there and introduce yourself to people. Tell them what you're passionate about, because I think everybody in them wants to help others. I know that it's in there for most people, and really just building your network and putting the good out there that you're seeking can only help attract the good back to you. And I think I would just encourage anybody that is feeling like they aren't rewarded in their day-to-day career or life. I would just encourage them to pursue what does spark their passion and to get out there and keep looking, because it's there. And the harder you look and longer you look sometimes, the sweeter the reward. So I think don't ever give up and keep looking.
I love it. And before we wrap up, just tell me a story about someone that you've gotten to see who has been helped by Hearts and Horses.
Oh, there are countless stories of impactful moments that happen here at the ranch. But I think a recent story for me was in our research study, part of the program was we would have 10 students come and ride in a therapeutic riding setting. So they would get to ride their horse. And then we had a control group, which was called the barn group, that would come, and they wouldn't actually get to meet a horse. The only horse that they interacted with was a large stuffed horse. And there's a family that had a participant in the barn group that was very afraid of all animals, even their family dog. They were very, very afraid of. And in their 10 weeks interacting with our volunteers and learning about horses and getting to meet Shiloh, the stuffed horse, they are invited back after their 10 weeks of the study portion is complete. They're invited back to have a horseback ride if they want one. It's definitely not required. It's just something that we offer to the barn group that doesn't get to do any of the mounted activities for the study. And this rider was not afraid to get on his horse, and just the smile and pride that was on this young man's face when he overcame his fear and learning about horses, and that he didn't have to be afraid with all of the knowledge he had gained while he was here. And it's just one of those photos that it speaks a million words, that you can just see how proud of himself he is, that he was able to get on his horse. And it was just beautiful.
I bet you can tell so many stories like that, and that I can only imagine how you leave work with a smile on your face. At least I hope on most days.
I do.
Great, great.
I would recommend looking at our YouTube channel.
Yes.
We have all of our rider spotlights on there that we debut at our annual fundraising event. And that's one of my favorite parts of my job here, is finding these stories, collecting them, and then bringing them to life to share with our community and our community of supporters at our big fundraising event. And so there's quite a wonderful compilation in there of impactful, very specific stories. So
Great.
it's worth a watch.
Yeah, tell us the links again, and this will all be in the show notes as well.
Yeah, I usually know my YouTube links, but the YouTube's a little bit different. So I'm pretty sure it's Hearts and Horses Colorado, because there are other Hearts and Horses around.
I'm sure it's probably on your website.
It is, and it's Hearts Horses Colorado. So there's no "and" in it. I knew it was, and I didn't want to tell you the wrong thing.
Gotcha.
Hearts Horses Colorado.
Wonderful. I look forward to sharing some of those clips then too when the episode comes out. Kathryn, I can't thank you enough for spending time with us and just sharing about the joy that you get to be a part of with Hearts and Horses.
I'm grateful for it. And thank you so much, Kate, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in. If you found this helpful, a 5-star review, like, or comment means the world to me. And if you found insight in this episode, chances are someone else will too. Share with a friend to give them a boost today. Until next time, I'm Kate Chiaratello-Tente, and this was Be the Good with Kate.